Continue.
Okay.
Okay, welcome to the conversation hour. Today we are going to be doing things a little bit different. And those who are new here, welcome to the conversation hour. I'm your host, Dintle. On today's session, I will be doing profile interviews with 2 of 8 of our conversation hour members. Therefore, we will be starting with DS Muratudi, the founder of this conversation platform. And also, we will be having Jay Malimela, his former schoolmate, former business partner. Gentlemen, welcome to the conversation hour.
Thank you, Dindle. Surprised.
Thank you, Dintle.
Okay, can you guys introduce yourselves? Donald?
All right. I'm Donald Mulatudi. Like you said, I'm the part of the conversation hour. Yeah, so I hope I'm not gonna be grilled with McG questions here. Cross fingers. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, thank you, Donald. Malimela.
Okay, now I'm Mohale Malemela. Also, I will be one of the people who will participate today for the conversation of today.
Okay, thank you, Malimela. Mohale. You know, I get really tongue-tied because here I have JF, Johannes, Franz, so I didn't get Mohale. So I'm guessing the person who gave me the memo, but we're going to talk about it. It's okay. So I understand that you guys met in Cuba, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was it? Like, did you guys feel like, okay, he's from Limpopo, we should like get to link up, be friends, or was there something that
Okay, let me start because I have something to share. Actually,
Okay.
how me and Donald started talking. Remember, actually, we met in Cuba. It was 2019. No, not 2019.
2019.
2014.
14.
Yeah, it was 2014. Actually, we were roommates. We were sharing a room. Now, you know, that was it's Mama's baby, man. Mama's baby.
Yo.
At that time, Donald, he was having a homesick. Because actually it was 2 days after we have arrived in Cuba. Donald, actually, he was having a homesickness. And then I remember we were at the gym next to the King medical school where we started. And then Donald, he was lonely. And then I went to him. I said, man, relax. You'll be fine. And then just gym with us and you'll be fine. Because he was lonely and then he was isolating himself. And then it's where I realized, no, man, why this guy is isolating himself? Because he was going with us, but when we get there, he was like isolating himself. That's why I went to him. I said, no, Chief, relax. You'll be fine. Don't worry about home. So actually we started talking in the room, and then it's where our relationship actually grew.
Okay, interesting.
So
Yeah.
So you feel
The way I tangaro strong, hey, this guy.
so you mentioned everything, Mara. You failed to mention or vele nalo and now like we were not the best of friends. There's a one alone.
You know, the other thing, you know, when we arrived in Cuba, we learned Spanish for a period of 6 months. And then we were actually attending the same class. I remember our professor, because in Spanish is professor. Then actually she asked us, okay, what word did you learn? The Spanish word, a new word during the weekend. Donald just raised his hand. He said, "Él es mi enemigo." Like, I was surprised. He was saying, "I'm his enemy."
Yeah,
Okay.
Mara.
Enemy, like, yo, I was surprised. This guy, yo.
Mara, you're not, like it was a, we joke, like, that's how, like, we communicate, like, with sarcasm. When it was, he knows then, and he knew back then, or like, I deep down, like, well, I didn't mean it, like, he was he's my enemy. And then I think one of the things that brought us together, that nearly, oh yeah, I remember having this entire presentation that where we played porn in the class on. So, like, it was those funny moments.
Fun.
Yeah, so it's a long story. It was those moments just like they're funny, that brought us together. And then again, like, having people when you're going through a lot, like when you're just not being yourself, being homesick, and then having people who just come to you to calm you down, or want to help you throughout the bad times. It's something like a change like relationship, because like go fella like Madita all important that like we were close, but then like we didn't have that brotherly relationship, or like, yeah, this one I can rely on, this one I can talk to this one about these things. So with him, yeah, it was a little bit different. And then I think one of the main things, like this whole relationship, like very close, nearly those things, like people, he would come to your rescue when like you're not yourself, or when. So yeah,
Okay.
that's how we met.
And you guys had a business together, right? When you were in Cuba. Malumela, apparently you started a business and left it. When you left, you handed it over to Donald. How did it go?
Meg G. Meg G.
Yeah, you know, sometimes actually when I look back, I regret. Sometimes I'm not regretting. You know, okay, the way I started with that business, it was unbelievable. For me, that business, it was a child to me. Because of, actually, I grew it from scratch, from nothing. And it was doing good before I left. But unfortunately, remember, the difference between me and Donald is one thing. Now, like, I grew from, like, business family, like, where I grew up, they were actually, since from the age of 9, I started selling from the age of 9. And then, for him, he learned the time we were in Cuba. And I left that business with him because of I trusted him. Many people, they came to me. They wanted that business, the platform, but I refused. I said no. I have a friend. I have Donald. I want him to proceed with it. But due to I can say experience. You understand? And then challenges. He couldn't proceed, or he couldn't like continue with the business. My regret, I can say, I didn't teach him. I didn't like show him how to overcome those challenges, because of it has a lot of challenges. But because of my background, I managed to overcome those challenges. For him, my regret is that I didn't like show him a lot of things. I didn't teach him. I assumed, or okay, he knows. And you understand? And then for me, giving Donald that opportunity, for me it was the best, because of, for me, Donald, I can't say it was my friend. He's my friend. I wanted him to taste that piece of pie. Yeah.
Donald, what did you say about this?
Yes.
What do you have to say for yourself?
Comrade, you want to know how it went? I think in life, like it happens everywhere. Because not personally, when before going to Cuba, like my environment was just all about like you get a good grades, you go to varsity, and then you get a job for what you studied for. That was like my life. That's where I come from. That's my background. And that's what I've been exposed to. So going to Cuba, I get to meet people like Joe, and then many other people. Or Franz, or Brian, or Matete, like there are a whole lot of lists that I can pull. So nearly that thing, or like each one of them, like they would give you like a different thing about life. They would teach you a different lesson in life, and then sharp. One of the amazing things that I got, or that I'm thankful for, Kakiopaki, having to have met Joe, because like he changed my whole perspective of life. He's the one who changed my life. In fact, life doesn't have to end with you being a doctor. Life doesn't have to end with you waking 9 until 8 to 4, just so that you can feed your family. There is more to life. So he introduced me to business in the world. I remember we started with trading. He's the one who was going for trading lessons, and then he came back. He taught us how to trade. We thought, or like, yo, we're gonna make money, we're gonna do all these things. So when sharp, we didn't work out. Yeah. And he came up with this idea, until your business, until money transfer. I remember he was running it smoothly at that time. Don't ask me about the name, ask him. He was running it smoothly. And then I only came in the picture, I think, when he was left with about 2 months before he left. And then at that time, I remember I was not in a good space financial, because I remember I was renting a house. I was facing like lots of challenges that I was not in a good space, and to run a business, for anything. I was in debt. I don't know, like, if he knew, but then I know deep down, like, he knew somehow. But then with Joe, like, he's someone who would always come to my rescue. I remember I even lost a phone, and then he bought me a phone. And then when he left, we ran the business together 2 months, I think, before he left. And then when he left, I was left alone with the business. So here's the thing, life. When Joe left, my whole circle of friends now had to change, or what? Because like all of the guys that I'm used to hanging around, all of the guys that have exposed me to this life, to this different way of thinking, like never tsamaile kaofela, or what? Now I'm left with different guys, or what? So one of the challenges still like I faced car business, nearly cycle, yeah, or one. I couldn't pick like a better cycle at that time. Or one. I was not in a good space, and then even the cycle. Like I was surrounded by people who only liked me for certain reasons. Or one. For the things that like they were getting from me. They knew okay, don't have it now. We're gonna eat nice. Or one. They only liked me for those reasons. And again, sharp. That was another thing. Or what? The business, like the first few months, nearly sharp. I was running because I remember I even extended like the branch. I remember after Joe left, because before Joe, like the time we ran I think we only had like 2 branches. Yakuka Makwe. Is it Joe in Guy?
There were 3.
3, ne?
No, actually we didn't have Kamakwe. We had Santi Spiritus, Santa
Clara. And then
also
Havana.
There were
Yeah.
3.
So when Joe left, I extended the branches. Okay, those are Cuban provinces. Owen, don't be surprised. So when Joe left,
No, I think I know Havana.
Yeah, it's the capital city. So when Joe left, I extended like until the branches. I had one in Holguin, and then I had one in again this thing. Go Elam. It's Elam go province even.
Havana also.
Havana, but then different side, Owen. And then I had another one in Kamakwe, Owen. I remember Joe like warning me about like the other guy that I added, or no, in fact, like Owen Sharp. So Sharp, I had those things, and then money started coming in, Owen. Now remember, I am someone who's not experienced, and then I have added like loads of work. I have added like loads of employees to the business now, Owen. Of which like it was one of the mistakes that I made, unexperienced, and then now I'm aiding people that don't know about the business to the business. Owen. So aiding those people sharp, the business was booming, like it was making a profit. If I'm not mistaken, I think like the net revenues are nearly 1.8 something, and then in rents I think you'd say 30k or 30 something, because like the exchange rate about that time about 17 or 1 sharp. The business was booming. I had like people that were working for me, so I started trading. I started trading. I remember starting trading. Joe knew about my trading, or like Joe, like okay, now I'm trading. At that time, like I was trading, like I used my own stipend to start the trading. I remember having about 30k, nearly 30k, ne? Yeah, I remember nearly about 30k. Sharp. And then I was like, okay, sharp. So like now I had money that time. Like I had money from the trading. I had money, business. So one thing, I'm still run. I forgot, or like I have a baby that I need to take care of. And then I have people that are working. So I started neglecting like the business. I started not pay attention to my books. Just business. Because like now, like okay, like I have money. So like you'd find out like one of the employees maybe doesn't retain like maybe they're supposed to give me like $400 or what, the money like they have on them, like they have to send to the business, like it's 400, maybe they would send 350 or one, because like I was not doing my books. I was not paying attention to everything. Like I thought, okay man, there is money, like what is $50 or what? So now like And even worse, like it was the new employees that were looting our. And then sharp, they started like stealing from the business, and then now like I was not paying, of which like well it was my fault because I was not doing my books. Over. So I have people who now, I have friends who now like they like just like they just expect me to give. Sharp, I'm giving. I have people stealing from their business. Sharp, and then there was this other thing of which like Leonard was unnecessary at the time. Or the time alone, like we used to do it, but then we were doing it for different reasons. Like we were doing it to grow the business. Like we were sponsoring like the events Jago into the student or to grow the business, like or like the exposure and everything. Sharp. First time I did it, it was because like we had new students coming in, so I just wanted them to be aware of the business. Sharp. It worked. But then now like there started being more events, and then I would just sponsor, not knowing or like why am I sponsoring this thing. Like they'll just come to me, like the SRC will just come to me, no man, we hope I can help out. Sharp, I'll just, okay, sharp, I can help with this amount. So it's something like it's crazy because you start like when you start doing things not doing why you are doing them, you start going against your principles. That's when you know like now you're losing it. The one at that time, like because I was doing all these things, remember this is money just going out, but then money that's coming in, like I'm not paying attention to the money that's coming in. I just assume or like there is money, or when there is money that's coming in, that's for sure. Or when like I have a business, I'm trading, like there is money. So the trading, I blew the thing. It's a long story how I blew it. I blew the thing. I just blacked out, and then the market went the other way. So the 30k like gone. Or when the 30k went, okay, now like okay, I only have the business now. I was like, let me come to my business, let me take care of the business now. At that time, like it was almost like too late. Because like when you check, even like one of the employees stole about like 400 something. Like it was just too much now, like because like they're used to stealing, and then I'm not like confronting any of them. I feel like there was money. So like they're used to just stealing, like they're used to stealing over my $50, 50 what, without me like having to interrogate, like confront or like what's happening. Now I don't have money. There is the only money that's left is in the business. So they will just tell me, oh no man, I'm gonna send you like, okay, I will send you like a month end, I will send you to 11. So like they chose the money, but then now they're just giving me promises. No, I'm gonna send you Ning. I'm gonna send you Ning. Sharp. When they do that, then I'll go to someone and say, okay, man, I have this customer who wants cash. How about you give me this certain amount, and then I'll give you this certain percentage when like my employees like send money. So assuming or like there was money. So like I kept doing that thing, or like I would go to someone and say, no, give me money. I do this transaction, and then afterwards I will give you like certain X until a percentage when like I get money from my employees. That money from employees never came. Now I have people that I have to pay, and now I had to pay from my own pocket because like now there is no money. Like it was just a mess. Or okay, how do I do this thing now? How do I do this thing? Because I remember at that time, I could check out the books, like they were just not making sense because like it's been months without doing books. At that time, I was like, okay, now let me do my books. When you do your books at that time, like they don't make sense. Like I've realized one of the most important mistakes that I've made was not paying attention to my books. Like you skip a month, the whole thing now it's a mess. Or like they just didn't make sense now. I was like, okay, how do I make money? Like, okay, I'm a trader, I can trade. Let me just take like the mental amount that I remember it was that time when I get checked, I was left with about 400. I was like, okay, I can take my 200 from this 400 and then trade it, and then I know like I can do this thing. Like I can make over 100K dollars from the market and then revive the business while I'm still waiting for those guys to send me money. Now you are trading out of like desperate. I'm desperate now. Like I'm making drastic decisions, and of which like it goes one of the principles that I remember I used to this talk with Joga and I get like taking your wife's money to sponsor your side chick, because now I was taking like the business the cash from the business to sponsor a side chick. Side chick is something that like can just leave anytime trading. And then like even worse, I'm being desperate to the side chick. I'm being desperate to the thingy. They know like you are married to this thing, man. Or when your heart is there, but then when you want to come here, you want to be play all desperate to me. Sharp. So like the money just kept on going, blowing the account. I'm like, okay, I can put in like $50 and then I would revive the business. But when I just kept on blowing into those things. Now I have people. Remember, I used to take money from people saying like I'm gonna give you a certain X amount when like those guys send me cash or when. And then the business now is going through the dog now. The books were not just something. So when like I saw flames, I remember I remember using my stipend cash to sponsor like one of the shows, because I just didn't want people to say, hey, I'm not doing or lo it's like nailing to la pride now or like so even like the friends that like I used to have like friends all over like my room. Like now like I started being lonely, I started being all alone. Now I'm like, okay, so like now Gunje, like I'm alone, nothing. I don't even get an invite to maybe only into an event somewhere, only party somewhere. Like I was not even getting like the invites. So yeah, that's I think like not paying books, paying attention to the books, wrong cycle, just being irresponsible with the business and not paying, doing things like you're not the experience, but then you want to still like scale like the business. So yeah, I think those are some of the mistakes that I made.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, I took forever.
But I'm sure you heard it. I'm sorry, guys. Hopefully, yeah, we do learn from mistakes. Hopefully, one day you guys you'll be business partners again, and in time it'll go well.
Yeah, hopefully.
What got hopefully
No, the thing is like when you break your friends like trust, like it's not easy to regain it. That's the thing. One thing I've learned, like I've let so many people down, and then one of the people that I've let down, Kicho, and there are some of my friends that I've let down as well. So now for me it's about like working through my path, like making sure like I pay everything that's due to anyone and then regain the trust. Yeah, and we'll see go better, like if things work out sharp.
Okay. So what experiences have you guys had in Cuba that are unusual or unique, or rather different from here in South Africa?
Cuba. Um, yes. Joe, you wanna go first? Mhm.
No, you can go first, Chief.
Okay, one thing with us, ne? You know why, like, we are so. I believe, like all of the guys, or like almost like one thing with Cuba, like Cuba will either make you or break you, or what? You either come back as like something different, like it will transform you drastically, or you either come back as an alcoholic or come back as a pastor, or you come back like us, or what? So because Marina, like we started our life, I believe we started our life in Cuba, or what? When we got to Cuba, like we started seeing things that we never thought existed, or one of which like I think is one of the things that all these guys like talk about, or like travel. Like, so the experience that we got from being in Cuba, just independence at a young age, or one, and then we got to learn what it doesn't matter what it is that you're going through, it will pass. It does not matter what it is and then how long it takes. Like at the end of the day, it will pass. Like you'll get through it as long as you are not dead. Like utopia. So those are the things that we got to learn, and then just experiencing or seeing like a different culture, people like because we got to spend time with people like from all over around the world, from Congo, Ghana, Nigeria, US, or like, so yeah, like just meeting different people, like you being exposed to all these cultures, to everything. I think just we just got to be open-minded, and and having to be strong and everything. So yeah, I think for me those are the highlights of my stay in Cuba.
Okay, for me, my experience in Cuba, I can say it was good because of I discovered myself in Cuba. A lot of things about myself, I discovered them in Cuba. And then also, like Donald said, actually we experienced independence at a young age. For me, it was around at the age of 19. And then things, they were hard. I don't want to lie. I remember for me, I remember plus minus a month or some few weeks. It was around December, January. Like things, actually, it was difficult. And then, but I managed to survive. That one, it was not that bad. For me, actually, where actually I transformed, it was the time when I was doing 30. You know, it's a year that I will never forget in my life. I will never. It's because of, other side I was doing well, like life, where like I was learning life, business, like developing myself, self-development. I was doing good. But academically, things they were going to, going down, where actually I couldn't qualify exam. Like I was studying, but at the end of the day, I go to exam and fail. But on the other side, like I was busy reading books, where actually I developed myself, like learning about trading, like I learned a lot of things during that time. And then actually it's where I actually discovered myself, my abilities. Yeah. And then that year actually it was difficult. But I was not alone at that time. I was with Donald.
Sibaninzi.
We were
Skala sibaninzi.
we're facing challenges like together,
Ish.
you know. But yeah, fortunately, we managed to overcome those challenges.
Yeah.
And then what I have learned in Cuba, no matter what you are experiencing, but what you're experiencing at that time, everything depends on you. Either you continue and persist, or you walk away, you run.
Yeah.
Depends on you. Most people, they run away. Others, they persisted. They did persist. You know, even now, that thing I'm still using in South Africa here. If you want something, you have two choices. You walk away or you continue.
Doesn't
No
matter
matter
how hard it is.
But most people, they say, no, it's difficult. Yes, it's difficult. But you have choices. You walk away or you continue. And if you continue, don't complain. Don't complain to anyone because of it was your decision. No one forced you. And then if you walk away, don't complain also. You decided to walk away. Yeah. Really, it was my experience in Cuba. Yeah.
Okay, you guys, we have a few minutes left, and before we close, I still had a lot of questions for you guys. Before we close off, what advice would you give someone who wants to study medicine, or maybe someone who also wants to study abroad?
I think you just need to know, like, one of the important things, not only like studying medicine or anything, like, you need to know like the why behind like everything you're doing. Like why, if like the why is not good enough for you, like to persist and to struggle, like to go all through the traumas that will come with what you'll be doing, then you are in deep shit. So like you have to know like the why behind it. And then again, like Joe said, one thing like you will get through. That's one thing. Like only this thing, it sounds like a cliche, but you either in 10 years time will either be a 30-year-old doctor, or you'll be a 30-year-old home wrecker or hobo. So like you just need to decide, like you just need to choose your struggle. You can't have both. So yeah, just know the why behind what you're doing and then go with it, man.
Oh, okay. Malamela, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Okay. Actually, I do agree with Donald because of why I'm saying so is because of during that year, the year that I will never forget. I remember, like it was difficult. I did sit down, and I asked myself, why did I choose medicine, or why did I come to Cuba? It's where actually I got the answers. It's where I decided, no, let me focus. And I did focus. And I managed to pass. As long as you have a reason why are you doing a certain thing, nothing will come in your way.
Yeah.
The most important thing, just know the reason why.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, guys, passion.
La pasión, muchacho, la pasión.
That one is killing people.
Yeah.
Because yes, you can do medicine, you can be a doctor, but if you don't have a passion, you're gonna first you're gonna be miserable. It's what actually I see what I'm seeing now. Most people, you see these people they don't. They just do medicine because of it. They don't have choice. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing with being abroad, ne? Like if you know your why behind what you're doing, and then your why is good enough to stand all the sacrifices and the ups and downs that will come with it, because being abroad, now you are far from home, you are far from your loved ones, you're far from until a family welfare. So you will go until you go through shit da or what. So that's where like we lost like most of the guys that we went to Cuba with or what. Because like when you started going into like getting harder, like that's where they were like, nah, I can't take this anymore, I miss home. And it's the same mistake that I nearly did when like I first got to Cuba. Like that's how, when I was first homesick, I was like, no, I want to go home. Like I was this close to coming back home. So know your why, and then surround yourself with people that will keep you grounded and that will keep you in the path. Always like be there for you, root for you. Circle is very important.
Udula go islanding. Batla go boela gae. I would never.
Joe,
I would never.
it's not an island. Fella, Cuba is not a vacation. Cuba is a struggle. Cuba is a struggle. It's not a vacation.
Okay. How did you guys for someone who's in maybe grade 10, 11 or 12, how did you guys, can you guys please explain to them how you guys got to Cuba, application process and stuff like that?
Joe, you'll take that one.
Okay. For Cuba, for us, actually, okay, we got the forms. For me, I got the forms from my secondary school. Even the hospitals, they do have those forms.
Yeah.
You go, you apply. Remember, in Cuba and South Africa, there's a huge difference. Because in Cuba, they have 25 medical schools, plus minus 25. And in South Africa, they have few. That's why in South Africa, the competition is high. That's why they want many distinctions. But in Cuba, the competition is low. Enough capacity to accommodate a lot of students. That's why passing requirements actually they're not a lot. Remember, for you to be a doctor, no, it's 50.
50. Oh yeah.
It's 50. Yeah, 50 English, life science, maths, physics.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then for you to be a doctor, you don't need to be smart. As long as you can study, that's it. Because here in South Africa, we have that mentality of, no, when you're a doctor, you must be smart. No. Here in South Africa, it's because of competition, nothing more. Because of competition. Competition is high. And then that's why minimum requirements, they're high. Yeah. To study in Cuba or other countries, they don't need a lot of money, a lot of time marks. Only 50% they will take you, especially for maths, life science, English, and then physics. And 50%.
When they do, like you'll go through a process or what? You'll go through blood testing, like where they test you for TBs, HIVs, all those diseases or what? And then when you go after that process, then you're gonna go for the interviews. Interviews, they will ask you like what they ask you, where is Cuba, and then like they'll give you scenarios useless or like sharp.
Wow.
So like yeah, it's just the interview is not really hectic. Just need like common sense. You just need to know where's Cuba and then some common sense questions. Yeah. Another question that I got was like if you were in a desert and then if you are in a country where you can't speak the language and then you want water, how would you tell them that you want water? So yeah, so like those yeah, but then the process is like you get the applications from your local hospital or even the municipal or something, king municipal. So and then you go through the medicals and interviews. Yeah.
And then also I want to add on the process. Remember, especially for Cuba, I don't know with other countries, but for Cuba, because of, remember in Cuba, there are actually the disease that side, actually they control the diseases. For example, HIV that side is less. If you have HIV, you won't go to Cuba.
Yeah.
TB, you won't go to Cuba.
Yeah.
Because of that side, HIV is like, yo.
Never since Cuba. I only saw one patient.
No, I saw two patients.
Yeah.
The entire 7 years.
Yeah. So if you have like any of those diseases, then hard luck.
They disqualify you. You won't go to
Yeah.
That's why you have to go that process of taking blood, testing you. It's very important.
That's not fair.
No, you know why? Like, it's sharp. Like it's okay for you, like it's not fair. But then, Reina, we've been in Cuba. Cuba is one of the most struggling countries that I know. Like you can go to the hospital and then you find out like the whole hospital, for example, I want an antibiotic. Like antibiotic, nothing, like hospital. So I want no treated patient. Yo, way. But like since I struggle and then system I wanna like as a secondary like as one like we treat people go Cuba ba prevent hence like abanyake batho ba jwang ba banyaka batho like they are at risk and then they control the risk. That's why we primary health care system ya Cuba rena mo ke secondary like re nyaka batho ba lalang and then we treat. That's why like ba dira ka mokgwa like especially like since you're a foreigner. Imagine now you're a foreigner, like you are HIV until positive, you get to Cuba with all your money and then you find Cubans who are struggling, who would do anything to get until some food. You sleep with them, you give them HIV, and then now like the whole of Cuba is at risk. And that's why so they're just controlling the thing, the environment thing.
A few months back or a month back, I don't remember. We had the NEC of Limpopo on video telling a Zimbabwean national who was apparently here legally that Zimbabweans are overburdening the healthcare system. Do you guys agree with this sentiment?
Yes, definitely yes. For me, guys, it's not fair. For me, like first of all, they came to us illegally. Now they want actually us to cover, actually the government to cover their bills. For example, when we go to another country, we must have a medical aid.
Yeah.
You understand? And we must go there legally. And if you go there illegally, they won't help you. Even if you don't have medical aid. I remember when I was in Cuba, if we have to wait for our medical aid to actually to be approved in order for them to assist us.
Yeah.
You understand? For me, like, I understand a side of a story, like if you are not here legally, we don't have to help you, because of our sisters and brothers who are South Africans, who are here legally, they don't have that opportunity.
And that's what
And
she
then
said.
now,
Did you hear her reasons? That's what she said.
yeah, now she's occupying a bed while one of our own South Africans can occupy that bed. Now, where I'm working, like people, they are struggling. Now, we have to tell people to come next year for operation.
And you have
Where that person was supposed to get operation 2018. Just imagine. Now, someone from another country is here illegally and he gets everything simple. It's not fair.
So even like the other countries, like when you go, like go Dubai, when you go there, they first want to see like you, if you are able to cover yourself. Does it happen, or like you fall sick, or what? Like they want to prove, or like you'll be able to like to cover yourself there. Go Cuba, I remember like I was supposed to get into the operation, and they said, or no, they can't operate me because now the ambassador until I haven't paid, so we'll have to wait. I remember I spent about like 3 days, was it 3 days, Joe, or 4 days, somewhere there. When
That's
the
around 3 to 4.
3, yeah, when the bill came, ne? And then nearly bill, yeah, it was just the bill of the food that I ate there for like 4 days, or 3-4 days until I give or take. And then the bill was like $1,000 US, or what? And then now you think of the accommodation, or like how much is the accommodation? If like the food that I ate like is $1,000, how much is this thing, the accommodation? Or so like right now we are being looted, but then now when coming to us, right, like the way other countries are doing now, it's a bad thing. Or I think right now, like South Africans, we are hypocritical. Or we want people who would speak until the truth, got it behind doors. Or and then when they are in the public, they're like, Africans should be one. Like now you would hate Malema for saying the things that he says. But then if you listen to Malema, like it or not, like whether I agree with him or not, but then what I like with him is like he speaks what's on his mind. Or he will tell you how he feels about you. He will tell you the truth. Or probably another, if you hear her reasons were valid. We have South Africans who are not getting attention, but we having, because of until foreigners coming in, we occupy debate, we occupy into jail, the doctors, our attentions. And like, yeah, guys, I think like not truly speaking, like I do agree with what she said there.
So you think she was right by recording the whole thing? Isn't that an infringement of some old you guys
She was not recording the patient. She was.
Yeah, but she was talking to a patient.
She was talking to a patient. Why? Because she can't go to every other hospital and tell them. And that message is not only for that patient, it's for everyone. How do you get the message abroad? Where did you hear it? Now you are.
Right. We have press conferences. She's in the government. I'm sure she can call the press in 1, 2, 3, 2 minutes. They'll be there, and then she will address the issue.
You know why that message now for me makes weighs more? It's because like she did the thing in the space where where the action were taking place. That's what like makes the message way more. Had it been like she made a conference para just delay to avela dar, no, we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna do. How many times have you seen like all these politicians doing press conference saying well like they're not gonna do something and then it just doesn't mean anything? Like it's a lot.
But I don't think. But I still feel like the way it was presented, it was at least. What is it gonna solve? They're still gonna come to South Africa, these people. At least yes, if they change the system, yes, something will happen. But taking a video, telling someone all these things, it's not gonna change anything. If there's no action, then nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think if you're not, but then with Bobby, like if you follow Bobby, like you would realize or like it's not for the first time she does like this thing, or record. Like everywhere she goes, there is someone who's recording. That's her thing. That's what she's been doing ever since. She would come to our hospitals and then she would be asking doctors, why are you not wearing a lab coat? And then busy recording. That's what like she does. That's something that has been happening for. So for me, it was not something new, like there was a recording it. It was like everywhere she goes, whether she's going to interrogate a hospital manager or anything, there is always like a recording. So yeah, that's what my 2 cent opinion. I don't know.
I think the end of our conversation. Thank you guys for coming through, and our guests. Thank you for visiting us. I'll see you guys again next.
Thanks for hosting us. I hope we made your day, and then that we're gonna get another invite. And please, we would like to have some drinks next time when we come over. And
okay, on my side, and then for host, and then we really appreciate it. Sure.
Thanks. It was nice.